I'm someone who has so many goals and dreams for my life, things that I want to make happen, and I work really hard. But once I've done everything in my power to make that thing happen, the last and final step that I often forget about, that really is the most important step of all, is what I want to chat with you about today. Because maybe you've been working really hard towards a goal that you want to achieve, but you too tend to forget this last final step that really, if I had heard someone chat about 7 years ago when I was someone who didn't believe in a higher power or didn't believe in energies, then I would have thought that that person was a little bit woo-woo, a little crazy. And you are more than allowed to think that I'm crazy after sharing this last week that I had, and a little bit of a fun reminder for myself as to what I need to get better at when it comes to letting go, releasing, surrendering once I've done everything in my power, because miracles happen when I do that. Every time in my life when I remember this last and final step, really beautiful things arise. So I want to go back to this time last week. I knew that there was this Bit Summit, which is like a yearly YouTuber event where a bunch of YouTubers get together, and there are keynote speakers and a ton of really incredible wisdom, but not just that, also a place where you can connect with people who are doing the same thing. And as a YouTuber, it's not like you have colleagues. Yes, I have people who I work with, but the people I work with help me with different things. So they're not necessarily YouTubers themselves. So the fact that there's this like space where you can go and meet other people who are doing the same thing as you is awesome. Like if you work a regular job, usually you have colleagues who do similar things to you. And lately I've really wanted to build more connections with people who are doing the same thing as me. So I knew that there was this Bit Summit going on, but a ticket was $1,000, and I knew I was going to pay the $1,000 that I wanted to go. But to me, it seemed like there were plenty of tickets left. Like it didn't seem like they were about to sell out, because they were continuously promoting this thing, and it just seemed like there was an abundance amount of tickets. But what happened on, I believe, maybe Monday, when I was about to buy the ticket, literally a week ago, they sold out. Literally, as I was about to purchase the ticket, I go on the website for the 10th time. I'm about to purchase the ticket and they're sold out. And I was so sad because I really wanted to go. And it was in LA. Out of all places in the entire world, this event was happening in LA. So it was super convenient. I could just drive there and hang out with a bunch of other like-minded creators. And I really, really wanted that. And once again, I had failed in just like getting the ticket in time. I'm saying once again, because I tend to like do things like that last minute. Yeah, that's just a habit I have, that this was also a reminder to get better at. Just like if I know I'm going to go there, then like just get the ticket. So the tickets are sold out. I message first day, I maybe messaged like 5 people who I know are going, or who maybe knew someone who was going, if like they had any tickets. No one knew of any extra tickets. I even messaged like the owner of the event. I messaged the website, and I messaged some people who are really in the YouTube industry. Nobody has an extra ticket. And I'm devastated. I'm really sad. The next day, I messaged a few more people who I'm not as close to, but like I just thought like I would give it a shot, like just letting them know that if anyone is selling their ticket or has an extra one, or like something, that I am very, very wanting to go to this event. Nothing happens. Then Wednesday arrives, and this is the day where people like check in and get their like Bit Summit ticket and stuff. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I knew that there's a reason for the fact that I was not going. And it was really like, it affected me because I really wanted to go. This is obviously like a silly little thing compared to what people are going through in the actual like world, but I'm just sharing what was going on in my mind. And I know it's not a big deal, but I have a point with why I'm sharing this with you. So at 4 o'clock, I like decide to stop working because I was just not feeling it. I wasn't motivated. I wasn't in this like beautiful state, and I take a bath, and in the bath, I get this like idea that I should just like completely surrender. So I want to do this surrender meditation because I know from previous times whenever I've been upset about something, if I just surrender to the higher power, energy, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, whenever I surrender, then I can like release that tension, and I can just trust that whatever has happened, like that there was a reason for me not to go to this event, yeah, there's a bigger purpose behind it. So after the bath, I go into my bed, and it's like 5 or 6 or something at this point. And I do this like surrender meditation that I found on YouTube, and it really gets me into like completely surrendering, completely letting go of this like, oh, why am I not at this event? Like I really just fully got into a state of like trusting that this is for me, and there's a reason why I was not supposed to go to this event. So I fully surrender. And this meditation goes so deep that I fall asleep, even though it's like 6 p.m. and I fall asleep throughout the night. And I wake up at 2 and I'm like, okay, well, let me just get my work done. And so I get a bunch of work done. I go to work out, and then I've gotten a good amount of the work that I needed to do for the day done because I woke up so early at maybe around like 10 a.m. And then I check my phone, and I see that this one person that was in the group, one of the groups that I messaged that I really wanted a ticket if someone had an extra one, he messaged me last night. I just hadn't seen it, but last night when I had just completed that surrender meditation, that he had an extra ticket. And so at 10 a.m., as I almost finished my work, as I had gone to the gym and all these things, I suddenly was given a ticket, which meant that I went home, I got ready, and I went to Vid Summit. And I just wanted to share that story with you because this is a pattern that has happened in my life many times, that once I have done everything in my power to get or do or be this certain thing, at one point I have to surrender. And the funny thing is that every time I surrender, that's when the thing actually happens. I do think that to manifest things, we have to take action steps, right? But once we've done everything that we can do, all that we need to do at that point is to trust that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And that maybe it's not necessarily looking the exact way that we want it to look, but whatever is going to happen is either what we wanted or better than what we could have imagined. This is what happened when I was like sick and tired of being broke, and I wanted to manifest a job that allowed me to make 10K a month. It was when I fully surrendered that job just suddenly popped up out of nowhere after like years of like fighting for it. This is what happened every time that I've wanted to manifest love into my life again. If I've been single for a while and I've wanted to get a partner, whenever I've been trying to force it, it hasn't come. But once I've like felt so good within myself and just like, you know, felt happy and just not really expecting it, that's when it showed up in my life. This is also what happened when I, back in the day, was trying to get a US work visa. I messaged like hundreds of people, heard so many no's. And once I surrendered and trusted in the process and that whatever was supposed to happen would happen, that's when all of these beautiful things started to fall into place. This is when I got booked for a tour that would help me get my visa. When these recommendation letters, these teachers I had asked for recommendation letters started happening. This is a little bit before, but like when I wanted to figure out how do I build my resume, this is when the China job showed up. I worked in China for 4 or 5 months to build my resume as a dancer. I would tour around with different Chinese massive artists on these TV shows where like millions of people would be watching the shows, and that really helped me build my resume so that the American government could see that, okay, I'm worthy of getting a US work visa so that I could perform in America as well. It was really when I had done everything in my power, I'd really taken all the action that I could take and then surrendered, that these things just suddenly happened to pop up out of nowhere. And like this guy who messaged me that he had a ticket for me would, like, it's of course because I had messaged the group that ended up happening. But I truly, truly believe, because I'm a little woo-woo, and you can think I'm crazy, I'm okay with that. I really, truly believe that it's because I stopped trying to force it. I had done all of that. I had taken action. I'd messaged the group. He wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't. But then when I surrendered, this extra ticket just happened to pop up. And last example, and then I'll move on, because this is actually ended up making me take very different action and make a different approach within my whole career and situation right now, which I'll move into. But first, I just want to share that really this is also what happened with my YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel is like everything, like my whole passion. I would say it's like my main career today. And that really is as well, like that came to me after surrendering, because I felt like something had been missing within my dancing career and the things that I was doing. It felt like there was something waiting for me. There was something I needed to do, and I had been forcing and trying all these different things. And when I went on these hikes, like I surrendered and asked, like, what am I meant to do? And the thing that kept coming to me was always like YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. And at the time I didn't know why, but because I was so open during these hikes and just surrendered to the messages that came to me, I started taking action towards creating these YouTube videos. So that's just like another form of surrendering. And because at the time I had like 0 subscribers and I didn't know what it could lead to, right? Like whenever we start a new adventure, we never know what it could lead to. But if we listen to these little messages and trust that there's a meaning behind them, there's a reason why they're popping up, and follow them, then I think magical things can happen. And I'm obviously sharing this with you because maybe you're a doer and achiever, someone who just like works really freaking hard. And maybe you've been in a period of time where you work really freaking hard, and it's time for you now that you've done everything in your power to surrender and like really release that. And I highly recommend going for a hike where you just like maybe sing to yourself, like, I surrender. I got that from Oprah. She has a story where she had done everything in her power to get this role that she felt was perfect for her in this movie. She just felt like it was really reflecting a great representation of her life. And once she'd done everything in her power and she had been so upset that she hadn't gotten the role, she had gone to this fat camp because she thought she was too fat. And then at the fat camp, she like walks around in this circle. At least that's how I understood it. And she was like singing, I surrender, and fully letting go of this thing and like wanting the best for this other person who had gotten the role in the movie. And literally as she was walking around singing this, I surrender, she'd gotten a phone call, and the phone call was from the director that was telling her that she'd gotten the role. And so I took that when I had heard that story from Oprah, and I've been using it like whenever I've been forcing something, working really hard towards something and I haven't seen results, just like really surrendering. And like I said, it could be singing, it could be a meditation, it could be going on a hike, all of the above together, and really asking like, why is this happening? And really being open to whatever messages come when you're in that situation, yeah, I just think there's something so powerful. And for me, at least, that's always like the final step that I need to do that I'm not always good at doing for it to actually unfold in either the way I had hoped for or in a better way. I mean, the things that haven't happened, I realized later that there was a reason why it didn't happen. And I'm now today glad that that thing that I once wanted didn't happen. So just trusting that process. But I want to also chat with you about a few things that I got from the VIT Summit. Actually, just one thing, because otherwise I'm going to be talking for hours here. First of all, I want to just remind us all how powerful it is to be surrounded by people who are incredibly passionate about the same thing as you. It was, first of all, really cool to see that the YouTubers that really have made it, like the YouTubers that have gained massive success within this field, they all have this one thing in common. They all have a little bit of obsessiveness. They're all a little bit obsessed, very, very nerdy within YouTube or within this one thing that they share on YouTube. And I just think that that was cool to see. I think I myself am a little bit obsessive, but it was cool to see that this obsessiveness, if used in the right way, is actually a good thing. And that even though these obsessed people are a little bit abnormal, they don't do what the normal people do. Most of them don't have like a normal social life. When they hang out with people, it's other YouTubers and they create these videos, and that's what fires them up. You feel their passion, their excitement for this thing that they're doing. And just knowing that it's okay to not be normal. There is a space for that in this world, to not do the normal thing, to see these people who are a little bit obsessed with this thing that they do, that it actually has helped them gain the success, but also help them reach more people and change more people's lives. Because I think that all of them in their own way help people feel better in whatever way that is for them. And really, maybe a lot of these people have changed other people's lives. And it's just cool to see that this obsessiveness is a good thing, or has been a good thing in their life. So that was just a little side note. But something that I wanted to share with you is, I got so many lessons from this VIT Summit. A few of the YouTubers said, what would your video look like if it was worthy for if it was worthy of 1 million people watching it? And that really stuck out to me, because it's like, I've been making these videos, I've been working really hard, but working hard and working smart is not always the same thing. And yes, maybe some of my videos is worthy of 1 million people watching it and getting some good value out of it. But if I, from now on, change my mindset and think, what would this video be if it was worthy of 1 million people watching it? I know that I would think harder. I would put more effort into the thought behind the video so that it would be worthy of more people watching these videos. And I am sharing this because I think that whatever it is that you do, whatever goal it is that you have with what you do, can you ask yourself a different question to make you up your game, to make you level up whatever it is that you create, you do in the thing that you do on a daily basis. Like, I shared this on my story the other day, is like the questions we ask ourselves really determine the direction that we head towards in our life. And if we ask ourselves better questions, we are going to create a better life. So what question can you ask yourself that someone who is the level above, maybe 10 levels above, would ask themselves in order for you to think more creatively and maybe work smarter, not harder, like what I'm trying to do? And I've been really asking myself, like, okay, if I had 1 million subscribers right now, what kind of videos would I be making? And that actually made me make the most crazy purchase I have ever made. But it felt really, really right. And I want to trust my gut. When something feels that right, even though it feels crazy scary, I want to follow that gut intuition feeling. I bought a camera that is like almost double the amount of money that my first car cost me. And it is a crazy purchase. I have not told my family yet because I know they're going to think I'm crazy. But when I have this urge, this feeling to do something, and I am freaking excited because I know where that can take me. Not that a camera, like a camera is literally the least important thing when it comes to creating good YouTube videos. I would even say like sound is even better than like good quality video. The story is the most important thing because like the value people get out of watching the video literally is the most important thing. But this is what I do full time. And I've for a long time wanted this camera. Also like TikToks and Instagram and shorts I can make with this, and how I can use this camera to turn my horizontal videos into also vertical videos. Like I have this whole thing planned out. I know my plan isn't going to go exactly how I want it to go, but I have this like vision in my head of what that looks like. And so I dared to take this risk. And I am not someone who spends money. Like I literally do not spend money on clothes. I always try to save when I'm at the grocery store. Like the only thing I spend money on is education and equipment, because those two things are going to lead me towards my goal. And like I said, I'm a little bit obsessive as well. I don't really eat out. Like I don't spend money. So if there's anything I want to spend money on, it's on things that can lead me towards the life that I want to create, because it excites me. Like buying new clothes doesn't excite me as much as like buying a new course that can lead me towards gaining more knowledge within this thing that I'm a little bit obsessed about or like wanting to know more about. So I don't spend money. And so I allow myself to give myself this gift. And I just for a long time had this feeling that I should do it. And I'm sharing this with you because maybe there's a risk that you've been wanting to take that scares you, but it's kind of like an exciting scare. It feels like if you did this thing, it would be able to help you get to the next level. If you're someone who likes to spend money, like I don't think you getting new equipment, you doing this thing is gonna lead you to the next level. I think because I'm not someone who usually spends money, and I know that making a video on my iPhone with a good story is gonna be better any day than making a video with a freaking expensive camera with a not a good story. Like the iPhone video is gonna be better if it brings more value to the audience. Absolutely. But because I'm someone who knows that, and I still made this decision because there's something that feels right. Like when I started my YouTube channel, or when I've taken different risks in my life, something felt right about it that I decided to take this risk. So that's a little crazy, but I'm excited about it. It's going to take a few days to arrive. And I'm someone who, like I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, I'm someone who like, go, action, achiever. And I've let myself take a few days off of posting on social media. I'll still post a little bit, but not focus on creating content, but focus on setting the intention for my content, like really getting clear on what is it that I want people to feel when they watch my stuff? What is it that I want them to take away? What is my intention behind everything that I do moving forward now that I'm going to create these new types of videos? That's also the reason why I got this camera, is because I have this new idea that I want to create with my content. So I really decided to take these days to do some more of the research work within both my own creation, but also research other channels, like what works, what doesn't work, and build my own new type of content from that. So that's a little reminder for us all that sometimes we also gotta just take a step back if we've been doing, achieving. Like I need a reminder like that very, very often, because I'm someone who just goes, that sometimes it is 10 times more effective to take a break, pause, and reflect on the intention, reflect on what is the smartest way to work right now instead of what is the fastest way for me to do this. And I think, it's a balance of in some seasons doing one thing and in other seasons doing another thing. And it's currently Monday and my camera will arrive Wednesday night probably. So I'll start shooting Thursday, but just giving myself these weeks. I'm also in the midst of hiring. Like today I'm having free virtual assistant interviews with some virtual assistants to help me, because I'm really wanting to build these systems within my business, because I've been working nonstop for years now. I've gotten some help with different things here and there, like I have freelancers and stuff, but I'm wanting to really build a team now where we can take everything that I do to the next level, reach a wider audience, and make a bigger impact and really help people in bigger ways. So I'm super excited. This is me sharing a lot of my life, but maybe there's some things that I share that could make you think or just be useful. Hopefully, I'm hoping that. But my main reason for making this podcast is really that I hope that if you're a doer, someone who has been working really freaking hard, that you do this thing and try your best to see if you can get into a meditative state and surrendering it in whatever way that looks like for you. But also, if you're someone who always is just like, I'm manifesting this thing, I'm surrendering, it's going to come to me, and you tend to not take action, maybe you need the opposite, push in the bum. And this is my reminder for you to create a clear plan, like make a vision, create a clear plan, and start taking action today, because action is required. I do believe in law of attraction, but I also believe in doing a few things to make that thing happen. I appreciate you so much for listening. I hope that if you enjoyed this podcast, that you're willing to share it with a friend or on social media and click that subscribe button. That really helps me reach a wider audience. I don't do commercials or ads on this podcast, because this is something that I'm just doing for me and you to connect and to talk about life and hopefully challenge our norm. So supporting me in that way would mean the world to me. I'm very, very grateful for you being willing to listen to my crazy thoughts and the things that I have on my mind. Really, really, truly grateful. And I hope that you go out there and have a beautiful day, and that you remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm.